So you've probably heard already, because the news is a little bit old, but Cadillac has announced their F1 drivers. And if you were hoping for new names,
this news was old months ago.
Well, but here's the thing: it
was old.
I think the problem
last year.
I think the problem is the fact that they're known drivers that have been in and out of F1 before is the thing that makes it feel like older news. You know what I mean? I think that has somehow contributed
with the senior citizens of F1, I guess.
Look, the two guys that have genuinely driven very quickly in championship-winning cars,
both on championship teams.
Yes, next to multi-champion drivers. We've got Sergio Perez, who's driven with Max Verstappen and seems to be the only one that's actually halfway driven well against Max Verstappen as a teammate. And Valtteri Bottas and his calendar or his mullet or whatever it is he's doing this week. Here's the thing I like about Bottas. He has reached the I don't care anymore.
He does have irreverence.
He has reached the place where, and he's done it different.
Like Alonso did.
But he's done it different than Kimi Räikkönen. Kimi Räikkönen was always the Iceman where it's just like, I don't have a comment for you, and everybody laughed.
Yeah, true.
Bottas is just like, I'm going to be as outlandish as I want, and you're going to pay me to drive fast anyway. Which I kind of love that. I kind of love that. And Sergio Perez, look, he wound up at Red Bull because he did this amazing thing in an Alpine car coming from like last to first in a race the season before they hired him. And everybody but Max has struggled with that Red Bull car. So here's my take. Well, we didn't get new blood, but we have a new team with an all-new car.
Yes.
So I think the thing is, this is removing a variable. This is, we can take out the variable of, are they just not used to an F1 car? Because clearly they are.
Yeah.
We take that variable out. And I don't know that either of these guys, and I have no idea, I don't know if either of these guys are the kind of drivers that they're like driver mechanics or driver engineers. There have been some who they can be, well, you have to make this change. Maybe they aren't those kind of drivers. I don't know that they are. But you know that they know how an F1 car should drive. So it's not, well, maybe he's just a rookie and doesn't know. That's off the table. I wonder if these are the dial-in drivers. Let's dial it in.
That's a great way of putting it.
And bring in some new blood.
Yeah.
I wonder.
Because it's a brand new team.
Absolutely, yeah.
With a Ferrari engine. Everybody continues to not mention that part.
True, yeah.
It's a Ferrari engine in this different chassis, so that it will even change again when it does become a GM engine.
True, yes.
So to get the chassis right, the balance, the way they want the team to run, they're setting the groundwork they're setting the culture as well.
It's ground
from
zero.
Day one.
Sure,
so I agree with this. So this video popped up in my YouTube feed about this. It was from Good Morning America. Now, I don't watch Good Morning America. I don't know why it populated, but it was these two drivers being introduced on Good Morning America.
Oh, no. Oh,
I thought,
which is essentially it. This is like my parents who get all of their pop culture references from Who Showed Up on Dancing with the Stars. Okay, this is the same thing.
Right.
We're going to introduce you to F1, Good Morning America audience, who's not even sure that F1 exists, by walking out the new Cadillac drivers.
Yes.
I totally see. I know the producer behind the scenes. I know exactly what they were thinking.
The reason it worked is because of the F1 movie is now in the world's consciousness.
Of course, yeah.
So that was that. You've seen the movie. Now meet the new drivers of the newest team. Here they are.
Oh, God.
I was like, oh, okay. So I clicked and I started watching. I don't have a problem with Good Morning America. I don't have a problem with the host, whoever it was, interviewing. Sure. I have a problem with whoever wrote the questions for the host.
Oh, no.
Whether it was him or the intern or the producer, because he got Sergio talking. He didn't refer to him by Sergio, which is a little strange, but just Checo. But, he's also known as Checo.
Yeah,
okay,
for sure.
So got him talking. Hey, you're a race winner and da-da-da, Red Bull, in your past. Hey, Valtteri, okay, AMG, Mercedes in your past, gotcha. And then...
Oh, no.
He asked the question.
Okay.
So what is it like to drive these cars? And I stopped. I clicked. I was done. That's it. I'm sorry. If whoever wrote these questions, and this was off a cue card.
Oh, God.
So what is it like to drive these things? No, we're done. We're done. Nope. You've done zero research. You know nothing. I'm sorry. Whoever wrote those questions,
I would love to know what was going on
Which
with these guys'
Disneyland
minds.
are you going to go to? Is it Disney World or Disneyland are you going to go to after you win the first race?
Is it Disney World Tokyo? Where are we going? These guys have done this for long enough. You know that inside their heads they were like, you've got to be kidding me. This is where we are.
Which is the worst part. I bet you they wanted to say, everything's going to go great. Cadillac F1. Yeah, we're going to dial in the team. The worst part is media interviews like this one. That's the part that really sucks.
I'm surprised Botas didn't say it. But let's talk about other things that are they more or less vaporware than this Cadillac team? I don't know. The Mercedes,
they're vaporware, but they're not vaporware. And I am intrigued. I'm impressed. This is the newly announced AMG GT XX. Are we calling it the Double X? It's cooler when you say
the Double X.
It's not the XX.
No, it's the GT Double X.
The concept AMG GT XX, which generates a peak output of over 1,000 kilowatts. That's more than 1,360 horsepower, achieved by 3 motors. But they just set multiple records, most notably an endurance record that covered 24,901 miles in 7 days, 13 hours, and 24 minutes. 17 drivers on the team,
including George Russell. Hey, George, you've got the month of August off. Speaking of F1, yeah, exactly. You're not driving this month.
What are you doing this month?
Yeah.
You want to come help us?
You know that contract thing we have?
Exactly.
Yeah. Here's where you need to be.
Media interviews. You got to drive fast for a long period of time to set some records.
Stop eating and swimming on your yacht. Come over here, do some laps in the GTXX. Yeah.
So this 17-driver team maintained a constant speed of over 300 kilometers an hour, over 186 miles an hour, stopping only to recharge at power levels averaging 850 kilowatts.
Yes. To give you a frame of reference, for those of you that are wondering about that kilowatt figure, if you charge from home, it's roughly 7 kilowatts. That's what you're doing, okay? If you go to a fast public charger, 150. If you go to the super fast public chargers, 350.
If your car can handle that.
Exactly. This was 850 to 900 was the charging level.
Crap.
I mean, that is like, kill everyone for 100-mile radius levels of electricity. That's a staggering amount of power getting thrown at this car.
I mean, what I like is that Mercedes has gone after endurance records before. And endurance, man and machine, actually intrigues me far more. I like longer races, Le Mans especially. The machine has to hold up. Yeah, to even win, the machine has to come through. And for something like this to achieve and sustain those high speeds, it was at the Nardo track in Italy.
Yep.
To sustain that and wait, you can't just refuel and give a quick splash of gas. We're talking about EV charging. So the technology behind it, they are oil cooled. Many of the components are oil cooled on this car.
I just can't imagine this. It's just amazing.
Incredible technology, incredible what they have achieved, what the team has achieved.
For sure, yeah.
I'm very impressed. What I do like is that Mercedes does things like this to eventually trickle down to road cars.
Yes.
That's what I appreciate the most about going after something like this and doing it. And hey, George, you don't have a race this weekend, right? You can come help us out, right?
Dust off your race suit. It's been sitting there for a week. I mean, the big question mark for me here is when they first announced or showed this car to the public, it looked like a concept. And then they go do this with it, which proves it can really run and work, which is very impressive. Is this a real car, and how does it relate, to your point, to actual cars you'll be able to buy? And the question nobody can answer right now is, will the consumer care? Because the big thing we're seeing across the board is, and I have another bit of news relating to EV records, but do consumers care? And this is a weird, I don't feel like it's a weird watershed moment in car purchasing where I feel like for the first time, and I'm not just saying it because you and I kind of feel this way, we've seen a lot of people that seem to feel this way. It seems to be a general feeling. EVs are doing things that are jaw-dropping like this and are getting kind of a shrug. Like, oh, yeah.
My question is, they had to know they were going to achieve something.
Yeah. Put a little bit of time and effort into this, yes.
What if they hadn't? What if none of this had worked and they set a few records, but let's say, you know what, the charging didn't work and both cars burnt to a crisp and they melted down. because we didn't calculate for...
This portion of Germany had a brownout for a week.
We missed the O-rings on something, or I don't know what.
Yikes.
If it hadn't worked, they wouldn't be quite as public about this.
Yeah.
So to achieve this result and therefore be very public with media, with everything, holy cow, the charge and discharge for the batteries.
It's staggering.
And the
it really is.
triple axial flux motors, which are very different than normal motors. They're actually becoming, I think, more investigative for EVs. So they put them in, they're like drone motors.
Sure. Okay.
They're pancake motors, essentially.
Yeah.
And they're being investigated more for EV use because there's so many benefits to them. But to go down this road and to put all this engineering effort, I mean, this is as much or more effort as they put in to their Formula One team.
I agree. This is moonshot thinking, and you do it with an EV.
But what if they hadn't? What if, like, one of them actually melted, and that's a puddle.
That
of car.
part of Nardo will never exist again. It's just it's a hole to the center of the earth, just burned all its way down.
Half of the records we wanted to, not all of them. So they had to try. But they didn't. They did it.
They did it. And this amount of mileage is the circumference of the Earth. That was the target.
Part of Nardo's never going to be this.
Exactly. It's like Chernobyl. Like mini Chernobyl in that corner.
Don't drive over there.
Don't go over
for
there
like 200 years
ever. Yeah. Anyway, so there's that. I mean, this is very impressive, and this is the next record I want to talk about that is also EV related. But I just do start to wonder if we care, and I'm asking, does the public care?
Do we
enough?
care? The collective we do we care?
Yes. The YangWang. This is from BYD. Okay. This is also the same sports car that was shown in press material a while back, jumping over a pothole.
That's right.
Like driving along at speed and like
it's all U9, right? Bring your dreams, build your dreams.
Yes, exactly. Build your
Do
dreams.
Something with your dreams.
Build your dreams. You can actually get that as one of you just sent us a photo and a discussion about it. You can get it as a huge chrome list of words on the back of your car. Instead of just BYD, you can get it to just say "Build your dreams" across the back.
Sure.
Which I don't think anyone wants, by the way. That's a separate thing. But this is the sports car.
Not very often chosen option.
Yeah, seriously, why would you do that?
It's a low choice.
Anyway, this car has 3,000 horsepower. 3,000 horsepower. Okay? That's staggering.
Are we talking about top fuel dragsters?
You'd think. Obviously, it's an EV. Obviously, it has multiple motors. But it just set a new, quote-unquote, production car speed record of 293 miles an hour, beating out Koenigsegg, beating out Bugatti. 293 miles an hour at Aero
And the Aspark Owl. Don't forget the Aspark Owl.
Yeah.
This is an important car that has changed the... No, it hasn't.
I'm so torn on this. And maybe it's just me showing a bias that I'm not intending. But I just don't know if the car market cares. And that's weird because I feel like combustion cars... When the Bugatti Chiron broke 250, I feel like that was being talked about everywhere.
Okay.
This photo... And this article about this, I had to find it. Okay? The Bugatti Chiron and Veyron were being discussed, to your point, like on Good Morning America, like somebody's driven a car this fast. Okay? This car hops potholes, has 300 horsepower. And
3,000 horsepower.
Sorry, 3,000 horsepower, and just beat the all-time speed record of nearly 300 miles an hour. I would think that would be everywhere. Now, is it the fact that it's a Chinese car? Is it the fact that it's an EV? I'm amazed, just like with that Mercedes, I'm amazed that this is possible.
Mm-hmm.
I'm starting to wonder if EVs don't feel relatable to people, and where does the technology align and become something that the average consumer cares about?
Okay, I agree with you. Slight counterpoint, and that is internal combustion engines have been around long enough where mankind has really started to push the upper limits of what an internal combustion engine could do.
Certainly, yes.
Piston-driven engine.
Yes.
Boats, aircraft, cars, they've been in a lot of things. Figure out what'll kill us and back it off a little.
Yes.
Like the Seinfeld joke.
Yes, for sure.
But this technology, as it's progressing so quickly, I guess. It's not new technology. It's just nobody knows.
True.
And so I almost think, it's important to push on what available technology and what potential is that is not able to be in production. It is not for consumer use. It's not general enough, and it's priced stratospherically.
Absolutely.
But still, the technology exists. Let's see what's possible from an endurance standpoint, from a speed standpoint, to push it out there, to then bring it back so it's in the realm of affordability, it's in the realm of usability.
Yeah.
And okay, it can do that. Let's bring it back to what matters to consumers, but at least we know. I mean, what if all this potential is out there and nobody goes and tests it? Nobody goes and explores those upper edges of things, which they have with internal combustion engines, I guess. I mean, so I think, yes, go push on that. On the other hand, yeah, that doesn't affect anybody's life except to read a cool headline like, that's fast. I can't buy one. I don't want a car that goes 290 miles an hour. I don't need one.
But look, I'll spin it another way. The guys that went out and bought the Koenigsegg's and the Bugattis because they were the fastest cars in the world, does this make them sign up to buy this car? Do they want the BYD now because it has the top speed record? And I would have said,
hard to say,
15 years ago, if it was an internal combustion engine car, I would have said, yes, all of those collectors will buy one. With these EVs, I don't know that they will care. And that is weird to me.
I also don't think EVs being pushed at these upper limits are collectible enough. I don't think they're special enough.
I'm very curious to see where this plays out. And I wanted to talk about it jumping off of the Mercedes things, because Mercedes put a lot of tech into their EVs. We drove a few of the EQs, and all of those cars landed with a thud. So much of a thud that Mercedes has kind of walked away from that thinking, and they're trying at it again with this GTXX and other things. BYD obviously is only an electric car company. So, and a lot of China is that, and there's been a lot of subsidies and that kind of thing to keep some of those companies going. I'm so intrigued, and I am not making any kind of declaration of any kind. I'm just so intrigued. What is the next 5 years of consumer patterns for car buying?
I think it's amazing. Look at what these cars can do. I'm going to go shop for used vintage Mercedes diesel wagons.
That's what all the enthusiasts watching this show are talking about, but I don't know that that's happening.
They're built like tanks.
Yes, they are.
They'll run
for sure.
Until the earth stops spinning.
Yes, until the earth stops spinning. Yes. Yeah.
And it serves my needs. And I can pack the dog in the back and off we go.
Speaking of cars we can buy now, our latest press car, I actually have a POV coming up on that in the next few weeks on Test Drive. I want to actually answer a question that I feel like you want to know the answer to. It's not that we're getting a ton of emails on this question, but I feel like I need to put it out there. We have had a near non-existent feed of press cars for a bit, so that has meant that we have not been feeding our Test Drive videos channel very much, and I'm a little bummed about that, but if we don't have the cars, don't have the content, that is about to ramp back up into about an every week or every other week format based on how often we get press cars. We just got the brand new 2025 Toyota Tundra TRD Rally version. So the TRD Rally is a $8,600 package on top of your essentially base SR5 Tundra. So it does not have the iForce Max. I can't say it any other way. It doesn't have the hybrid motor. It just has the normal iForce Max, not the iForce Max.
That's the movie announcer voice, not the Wrangler Jeans voice.
That's very different. It's completely different. So it's the twin-turbo V6, which still has plenty of power. But I have a test drive of that, an actual POV of that coming, because we've driven the Tundra and other specs. So on this one, I just did a POV. That is coming soon. We'll talk about that at length. The reason I transitioned to it here is because you made the comment about till the earth stops turning. This was the impression of all of the Toyota trucks until they went turbo and hybrid. And everybody has, lit up their torches and pulled out their pitchforks and come for Toyota and claimed these won't last. And the reality is we don't know.
I think actually the burning question is, did you go to the dump?
Oh, of course I did. I had a pickup. I had to go to the dump. And apparently, since I'm over the age of 35, I'm headed toward that era in life where all I do is sit on the porch, yell at the TV, and go to the dump. So, at some point,
Of course he did.
Dump run. The dog is sleeping, and then it just kind of looks up and goes, "Oh, you're yelling again? Okay." And then the dog lays back down. I'm headed for those years.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Those are some of the best years. They're still coming. Yeah, it's going to be great.
We're adding FCP Euro as our partners and supporters for both Everyday Driver and Hooked on Driving. For nearly 40 years, FCP Euro has been an industry-leading supplier of genuine, original equipment and OEM parts and performance upgrades for European cars.
That means BMW, Audi, Volkswagen, Mini, Mercedes, Volvo, Porsche, and even Saab. Paul, you have to call your brother-in-law and tell him FCP Euro is the place because, as I just said, even Saab. We're putting it in the ad. Anyway,
They offer a lifetime replacement guarantee on everything, including consumables like brake pads, wiper blades, and even oil filters. Buy a replacement, send back the old one, and receive a credit for the full amount.
For your sub!
Plus, FCP Euro offers free economy shipping on orders over $49 and a 90-day hassle-free return policy for new, unused, and uninstalled parts.
So visit FCP Euro today for more than 300,000 parts ready to ship for your European car and your Saab. FCPEuro.com. Should we talk about cars? Like actual cars people should buy?
We should talk about hatchbacks because we haven't done hatchbacks in a long time.
You're right.
And we do love talking about hatchbacks. Thank you guys for your great suggestions. We are continuing the top 5 series with the top 5 hatchbacks, although I don't think we've finally settled on a price. Is it 40K and under? Because I did about 40K and under.
I did 40. Here's the thing. On this series, we've been doing generally 50K and under. When I think hatchbacks, I think something that costs less than 30 grand. But the reality is most cars cost way over 30 grand now. 50 grand feels like too high. I have a wild card because it breaks the rules. But the rules for me were less than 40 grand, new or used.
Okay.
And less than 20 years old or newer. Because you could just go back. The all-time greatest hatchbacks, and we're talking about the 70s and 80s and 90s.
That's true.
And I just like, no. Something that you would buy.
The Renault R5 Turbo.
Yes.
Yeah.
The Peugeot 206, whatever. You see what I'm saying?
Lancia Delta Integrale.
Exactly. We're not doing that. My thinking here was you are currently shopping. Mm-hmm. You have 40 grand max. You want a really good hatchback, and you're going to drive it all the time. Like you're going to use it like a hatchback, meaning it needs to be fun to drive.
Yes.
And usable. And fun was key for me on this. I wanted to pick 5, and I did. I picked 5 that I think anytime I've driven these, the takeaway for me is that is a fun vehicle to drive.
I'm with you.
Also be a hatchback, of course, but this is just fun. It just has that electricity about it. That was my 5. I have a wild card because it's too expensive, but generally under 40.
I have one wild card too, and I adhered to the same rules. The top 5 SUVs, I adhered more towards new.
Yes.
But we are experiencing kind of a dearth of hot hatches in the market, so I felt forced to go back because there's some greatest hits on the hot hatch list that are not very old and they're already out of production.
True. Yeah, there's some great stuff.
I'll start us off with that very car, and that is the Hyundai Veloster N.
It's a phenomenal car.
So good. Yep. This is actually the car that we drove. We took this car and did a comparison against the GR86.
Yes, we did.
Lots of fun. It doesn't matter. DCT, manual, I don't care. It's quirky. It's excellent to drive. They're not new anymore.
No.
But this absolutely adheres to a 40K and under. You can find them for probably just over 30 at this point. Superb car to drive. If you've been considering one, absolutely a lot of fun, worth your time.
It's the quirky hatchback version of the Elantra N. Everybody praised the Elantra N. This is very much the same car in quirky hatchback form. It's on my list too. It's great. It's superb.
You know, I thought this could have kept going if they just added the door on the left side.
Oh, you think they should have walked away from the 3-door thing?
It was fun. It was an experiment. If they had the next generation of this, just add the door, and that's your new marketing campaign. Hey, we know that it was quirky, and we experimented, and we got it out of our system, and now it's got proper 4 doors.
We're all better
the
now.
next generation, and that probably would have kept this going.
Well, but see, I actually think you're right in that is what they sold in Europe as the i30. And the i30N.
True.
And you could have brought the i30 hatchback here, but then they killed the i30N in Germany too.
Well, yes, but I just like the form factor of this a lot better.
It's not very cool, yes.
So GTI,
I totally agree.
It's very different. Really love this car. Moving on in alphabetical order to the recent Mazda 3 Turbo that we drove.
Sure, yeah.
Absolutely. Even though it only comes in automatic, but every time I drive it, it's just superb to drive. All-wheel drive, lots of fun, great power. Mazda knows what they're doing with this.
Yeah, they do. They're very good.
Excellent space, great hatchback.
And 40 grand, you can just go buy one right now.
Yeah, this is the new category, so you can get one new or used, but absolutely adheres to the 40K and under. And then I hope you all haven't forgotten about the Mini Cooper JCW that we drove just 3 or 4 years ago. What a fun car. I laughed.
Oh, yeah, we did.
Every time I let the clutch out, every time I just stomped it in first gear at the stoplight. What a superb car to drive. So much fun.
It is great. It's
so
great.
endearing, so quirky. Really love this thing. They were expensive brand new. I think this one was $44,000 or $42,000.
Almost 45 grand.
Brand new, but now this is the play, especially in this color combo. It's like Christmas all year long. The Porsche Macan GTS. Not just any Macan. Am I mirroring your exact list?
No. The thing I'm laughing about is that you have so embraced our discussion about the fact that these small SUVs are hatchbacks that you just went right to putting it in your hatchback list. I love it. I think it's great.
It's a hatchback. I am going to argue anybody that this is a hatchback. You could argue the Q5 and that's an SUV and why is the Macan? But no, it is actually a hatchback. A little bit less space actually than the Q5. And GTS only. At this point, there are deals.
Okay, all right.
I've gone back to 2017. You can see there's actually two body styles, two generations after this one.
Sure, yeah.
So to save money, go backwards to the first gen, which is still valid, 30 grand, 30 to 35,000, somewhere in there. That is your sweet spot. That will get you a fantastic GTS. I think that would be the right play. And then something that I cannot leave off, always love driving this thing, the GR Corolla in any trim level. I haven't shot Marizos to see if they're under 50
not. I looked today.
Are they still?
I looked at length on AutoCompass.com.
Collector Corolla?
Yes, they are still.
Oh, good. Yeah. Well, anyway, go get yourself a Circuit first edition, fine. Yeah, or just a Core.
Get a Core.
So much fun to drive. And now they come with an automatic transmission. Those are not under 40, but still, you've got your choices now. This is sort of the new Veloster N, if you will.
I see it.
You've got transmission choices. Yep. It's a quirky car. It's all-wheel drive, and we don't know how long this is going to be around.
That's true.
I hope the next generation continues with a GR Corolla, but we just don't know. So maybe this is short-lived, just like the Veloster N. My wild card, moving on, is another car that I will argue is a hatchback. And it seems like every other automotive outlet argues this is an SUV, and I disagree. This is a hatch. It's Hyundai Ioniq 5N. This is an EV that's fun to drive. We've been lamenting the fact that there's no EVs out there that are fun to drive. Well, Hyundai actually makes one, now just referred to as the i5N. That's just the easy way to do it. But you know what? It actually kind of triggers some rally kind of feelings because of the speakers in the rear bumper. And on the inside, you can turn on the actual engine noise and have a bunch of fun downshifting and having the popcorn exhaust. It's just a lot of fun. It's just entertaining and endearing. It has that quality that all the Mitsubishis did.
Yes.
It just has that endearing, fun kind of thing about it.
I until you mentioned that just now, I hadn't thought about this. I think the Ioniq 5N might be as close as we get in feel to what the Evo 10 was. If this were a Mitsubishi, if this were the Evo 11, I think we'd go, yeah, electric Evo. I think it has that kind of surprising personality in what's supposed to be, if you will, an everyday shape. I hadn't thought about it till this minute. I do think if this were branded that way, this with the Mitsubishi Evo 11, there'd be various ones of us, I'd kind of be in this camp too, to be like, no, pitchforks, it's different. But this has that similar personality. That's pretty impressive.
It certainly does. Actually, it could be a Mitsubishi because it doesn't really match any of the styling characteristics of anything else in the Hyundai lineup. So this could be, if Mitsubishi dropped their weird styling and styling cues for no reason and do something like this, actually that would bring the Mitsubishi brand back, I think. But for now, Hyundai is doing it, and that has my vote. The problem is, of course, the price. They're nowhere close to $40K right now.
They're $70 new, yeah.
But still a lot of fun, and if you're looking for an EV hatch, this is the one you should consider. That is my list.
That's a good list. You and I have multiple overlaps, which probably won't surprise people, but I have to start. I have slight variations and other reasons for some of them, and I have to start with one that is close to my heart, and that is the R53, the first gen of the BMW makes a Mini, where they had a supercharger on them. You can have these for a song now. These are super cheap now. So this is very similar spec to the Mini that I had. I did many videos on the Mini. But this is the first gen.
Enunciation is key.
The reality is the second gen were a reliability nightmare. The first gen were pretty good. There's certainly stuff to do, but the first gen were okay. The second gen were a reliability nightmare. They went from the supercharged engine to a turbocharged engine. It was constant problems, and they feel like there's a brand kind of climbed out since then. And the one you brought up, the JCW, is after the climb out. They've become more reliable and better and all that kind of stuff. But the problem is they've also become bigger.
Yeah.
And this hot hatch, this little mini R53, very much feels to me very similar to my next pick, which is the Fiesta ST.
I so wish we had the second gen of the Fiesta ST in the U.S.
The Fiesta ST is also fairly affordable now, well under this 40 price cap. They're under 10 in many cases, as are the Minis. These Fiesta ST and the Mini Cooper, both of them, you just can't get past the fact this is fun to drive.
Mm-hmm.
It certainly has its downside, be it the quality of the interior, how old they are, or whatever. But I don't think anybody ever drives one of these and goes, that was terrible.
This is a little like sitting on a bar stool while driving, pretty quickly.
It's an economy car.
It does it.
It's an economy car. It is so fun to drive, as is the Mini. And while I'm at Hot Fords, we don't get any more. I have to do this one, the Focus RS.
Focus RS.
These are all out there now as used prices. So under 40, you can get a really good one, and they're all used. Try to get one that is close to stock, but this was all-wheel drive. This was the bigger brother when they were selling the Fiesta ST. This was the all-wheel drive bigger brother. It is superb to drive. It's quite stiff, but it is superb to drive. Hopefully your roads are decent. Otherwise, you're going to kind of hate yourself. But the last one we drove was 100,000 miles on the last one we drove.
Yeah,
and it drove great.
I didn't realize you liked these so much.
I think they're awesome. When we're talking about
like them.
When we're talking about hot hatches, you have to bring these up. You have to. This is a superb hot hatch, and it is. I mean, I actually, if you really said pick one or the other, I think I'd pick Fiesta ST. I think the Fiesta ST is that much fun, and it's the traditional front-wheel drive hatchback model, and I like lightweight. So the Fiesta ST wins a little bit for me. But if you're talking about usable, modern, do-everything hot hatch, you go bigger brother, RS, that's way, way up there. And I also have two others that you've already brought up. One is the GR Corolla. You will be pleased to know.
So much fun.
If you go on Auto Tempest right now, I did it today, you look nationwide, there are plenty of these under 40. Plenty.
Fantastic.
Between 30 and 40 is where all the used ones are living right now. So I know when these first came out, there was a lot of discussion, ourselves included, where we talked about, isn't this a little much for a Corolla? And it is. It's a lot. But the fact that they're below 40 now and you can just go get them. The other problem was the fact nobody could find them. So then there was markup and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
This is similar to the Fiesta ST in that the interior doesn't feel like what the MSRP was. The interior feels lower rent than that. That's where you know this is a Corolla. But the dynamics are superb. It's just anytime we drive one, they're fun to drive. I can't take anything away from it, and they are in the price point. And the last one for me is the Veloster N, which you already brought up. It's superb. This gets overlooked, and I don't know why. I guess it's because it's quirky, but it's so good.
I miss this car like crazy.
They're really cool.
Add the door and sell it as the new version.
I mean, the name is contrived. The three doors are weird, and yet it doesn't matter. You drive this, and it's just fun.
Yeah,
it's a great, great car. Watch our original piece, actually, that's on our channel with this versus the 86, and watch my dear friend and co-host Paul struggle through the entire episode about which one he prefers. Whichever one he's sitting in is the one he prefers. I'm kind of ruining the piece, but that's really what happens.
He's so
torn.
Though.
It's really, really good. I have one wild card, and it is entirely a wild card because of price.
Okay.
Because I cannot ignore it. But if 40 grand is the cap, you can't touch one of these. And that is the current gen Honda Civic Type R.
Yes, all day long.
It is superb. And it is, some of the ones on my list have been all-wheel drive. This is still front-wheel drive only, defiantly front-wheel drive. It is a hatch.
Yes.
I like the looks. I like the dynamics. I love the seats. This is, with the Fiesta ST, but even more so, this is to me the poster child of drive wheels don't matter.
Absolutely.
I mean, I'm a guy that I want rear-wheel drive.
Yes.
I'd even like mid-engine and rear-wheel drive if I can. But this car, it doesn't matter. It drives so well. The manual transmission is wonderful. It is superb. But you are not touching one unless you get really lucky or it's a little bit questionable under $40,000. These are all used, I'm talking now, between 40 and 45, 46. So they're above the price cap. But they're so close and so good, I have to call it a wild card because that is a superb car. And honestly, here's the gamut. If this is just above the price point at, let's say, 44, you can get a Mini Cooper first gen for under 10. So what's your budget? I've got a hatch for you. We're making deals today.
I so wish that Acura took this and did their all-wheel drive Acura thing.
You kind of wish the Integra Type S was super handling all-wheel drive. I kind of do too. I mean, look, the Integra is excellent.
It's the only car in their entire portfolio that is, as you say, defiantly front-wheel drive. Acura's thing is all-wheel drive.
You're right.
Make that as the new Evo 10. Yes, the luxury Evo 10.
I do like it.
We wanted a better interior. Acura gives us that.
Yes.
We wanted more space. Good.
Yes.
Great engine. Make it all-wheel drive. Oh.
Yeah, the Integra in all-wheel drive would be really fascinating. The problem is it's already 55, 60. It'd probably be 70 or 80 if it was all-wheel drive, which would be a problem. It'd probably be as expensive as the TLX, and we would all cry foul.
You think we'd mock them the Corolla Morizo?
Yes, we'd be. Why is this expensive?
$50,000 Corolla?
Yeah,
Are you
without a
kidding me?
backseat. Here's the thing, and you made it less usable.
With no backseat.
You took it's no back seats.
Sorry,
it's $50,000. It's a Corolla, and you're standing there with a straight face and an MSRP label. Like, oh yeah, it's fine.
No, it's accurate. It's luxury all-wheel drive.
Yeah.
Just buy it, guys. Thank you for your top 5 lists and your ideas. Keep those coming.
Yes,
we're always open to more, and
we're doing many more.
Parsing them out a little bit too, because we've got price ranges to deal with. We've kind of stayed middle of the road right now and things that are relatable and affordable, which is where we need to stay in that range. But of course, there are some SUVs that are a little bit more money that, sometimes
we're gonna drift out of the
creeps a little bit, but we'll see. Anyway, write to us, everydaydrivertv@gmail.com. Griot's Garage is our official car care partner and one of the first ever sponsors of our show. They don't just make great car care products, they want you to get out and drive.
Griot's is a family-owned company, and they've been a part of every one of our road trips. We always take speed shine on every shoot, helping us spot clean cars in a moment's notice.
Griot's foaming glass cleaner is the quickest and best way we've ever found to get windows clean before a big day of driving. Griot's is always releasing new and improved products, like their updated Wash Bucket 2.
Plus, all of Griot's liquid products are 100% guaranteed and made right here in the U.S. The Griot's folks are always happy to answer any questions you have and make sure you get the right product and the right results.
So get the best quality car care products out there from a company that has always supported this show. Our audience can always get at least 10% off by using the code DRIVER10 at griotsgarage.com. For our first car debate, Derek G. is in Nebraska. He says, help me before a Honda Cross Tour kills my soul. Cars have been a huge part of Derek's life for as long as he can remember. His first car was a 1994 Acura Integra LS,
there you go. All right.
Which kicked everything off. Since then, he's owned 2 Integras, a 5th-gen Prelude, 2 2002 WRX sedans, and a 2006 WRX wagon, an E36 M3. Had to throw a BMW in that.
Just to mix it up a little bit.
The Japanese cars for a little bit. And then a 2006 RSX Type S. And his all-time favorites, 3 different Civic SIs from 89 to 91. He's driven some great stuff. He's also had the chance to drive everything from M4s to M8s to an F-Type R, Hellcats, GT500s, thanks to time spent working at dealerships and a dad who loves fun cars.
Love it. That's great.
But Derek doesn't care much for straight line speed. What he loves is a car that feels alive in the corners. His single favorite car memory is the 2 days he got to drive a Fiesta ST from the dealership when one of his WRXs was in the shop. A WRX is in the shop? That's weird.
That's weird, yeah. But he drove a Fiesta ST for those 2 days. Yeah, interesting.
Intoxicating.
He said he loved it. He said it was one of the most favorite driving experiences ever was this loaner Fiesta ST. By the way, that was on my list.
The loaner.
Anyway, yeah, exactly. Perfect, yeah.
Now life looks different. He's got 3 young girls, all under the age of 5.
Oh my gosh, okay.
Last summer, he sold his beloved 06 WRX wagon and inherited a 2012 Honda Cross Tour from his grandfather, which makes financial sense, but it sucked all the joy out of his driving. He's so bored.
It's the right car for your needs and the wrong car for your soul. That's where we are right now, for sure, yeah.
So his budget is about $7,000.
Ooh.
That's low, but that's from selling the Cross Tour, and they don't want to add any more money to the budget.
All right. Okay, I see. I do see that, yep.
He wants manual transmission, driving fun, needs to fit 2 car seats, even though he rarely carries adults in the back, but it doesn't have to do everything because his family also has a 2018 Ford Explorer Platinum that handles all the serious kid duty. So current candidates include a Honda Fit, remember those?
Yeah, for sure.
Or Fiesta ST, but that's out of the budget at $10,000.
Yeah.
And he's going to want a nice one, even though we recently drove one during our COTA road trip, and it had, 113 or 120,000 miles on it?
That video's coming up soon, yeah.
It felt great, even with high miles.
You can find them under 10. It's going to really depend on which one did you find and what's the state of it. Yeah, for sure.
His wife, Becca, has 0 car interest. But Becca is a dual US and UK citizen who loves all things British. They drove a friend's 2019 Mini Cooper S the night that he wrote this email to us, and they both loved it. Now, obviously, the 2019 is out of reach.
For sure.
But that 2005 and 06 or 2011 to 2013 Coopers do fall in the budget.
Yes, they do.
It's the reliability that leaves him nervous.
I understand that. Yeah.
And
they're
it's
all
something
high miles
that
and old now.
You've dealt with.
For sure.
He said the Mini ticks all the boxes. Analog feel, fun, tossable, even has the my wife actually likes it factor.
Which is big. It's a big thing, yes.
That's like number one on the list, though, isn't it?
It's not always number one. It depends on your marriage and what debate you're having about the car. But I will say this. If wife hates it, that car's probably off the list.
Or she doesn't
have to love it, but if she hates said vehicle, it's probably not around for too long.
Becca said if 2 car seats fit, she's good with the 2 doors, which shocked Derek. So she has also said she'd learn manual if that's the car they buy.
Wow. I mean, apparently you need a Mini. Okay, onward.
But Derek's not super handy, so the horror stories of Mini reliability have him sweating. He doesn't want to get something that strands them or drains their savings, especially if you buy a $7,000 Mini and suddenly you got to put 3 into it to fix the thing that's rough. So is he crazy to even consider a Mini? Should he stay the course with the Fit? Is there some perfect middle ground he's not seeing? He'd love to find something that gives him back the joy of driving, fits their family rhythm.
I like it. That's good.
That's good. And keeps his wife excited about it too. I thought you could touch on the Mini reliability and should you buy another Mini?
Yes, let's talk Minis.
What your outlook on the reliability? I mean, you bought a close to 200,000 mile Mini, Spot the Mini.
Yes, I did. Yeah.
It was a unique situation, though.
It was very unique. I mean, I do want to speak to this, but before I do, I am going to touch real quick and say, Derek, you and Becca, there's nothing wrong with a Honda Fit. They're very reliable. The manual transmission is okay. I've got a picture up right now of somebody autocrossing one. We know many, many people we have come across at track days that their track car is a Fit. The parts are out there. You can do it. They're fairly robust. People have won autocrosses and Fits in their classes. We've seen them at Hooked on Driving days. We've seen fully caged ones that are like full-on dedicated track cars.
Yes.
Now, the reality is we're talking about you'll buy one that's cheap, and then you would over time be making it more fun. That's the thing I think that is the problem with the Fit, is you're going to want it to be more fun out of the box, and what you're going to get is going to be a cheap one that's going to need things that are not making it more fun. That's the downside.
The Jackson Racing Fit.
Yeah, exactly.
Wait.
So let's talk about the R53 Mini, which is the one that is the early model you're talking about, the 0506. Again, right after that, they did a model year change, and they were far less reliable. Now, you've noted that by saying you're also looking at the 11 to 13s. Notice you skipped about 5 years in there. There's a reason for that, because they were wildly unreliable. These old Mini Coopers, these first-gen supercharged ones, they're interesting because they cost you nothing. They're worth nothing. The nicest one out there, the nicest one you can find, is $7 or $8 grand, which is crazy. So you're probably going to be shopping under your budget of $7 with maybe $1,000 or $2,000 left over that you could do tires or whatever it needs right away. Okay, shopping one of these next to Fiesta ST, these Minis are the bargain, which is crazy. And people are worried about the reliability. But the thing about it is, everything on them is known issues. And they are super compact. So this is the rare car that, because it is inexpensive and because it is so tiny, there's a part of me, and I am not a wrench, who wants to get out the shop manual and be like, well, let's look.
Really?
Because the whole clamshell roof opens up and the entire engine's just laying there. It's slightly bigger than a dinner plate. It's just like, well, grab me a wrench. Let's try this. You know, I mean, because they cost so little. Okay. Now, the known issues are leaks. So make sure the leaks are solved. It's going to come down almost entirely to who is the owner you're buying from.
That was your experience with Spot.
And that was the guy that I bought Spot from had owned it since day one. It had 186,000 miles on it the day I bought it, which is crazy. That is a cautionary tale that you and I would tell somebody, don't buy that car. Okay?
We did it for YouTube.
The reason I did it was because it was a $5,000 purchase, and the guy had a spotless garage, and he had told me he had spent the winter, the cold Utah winter, he had taken the supercharger off the car and rebuilt it just to make sure it worked right. I was like, I'm buying your car, dude.
It's like watching TV for the whole Christmas vacation, polishing.
That is the nicest Mini Cooper ever.
Everything.
So he was an extreme example, but here's what I have also discovered. If you find an enthusiast owner, not somebody that bought a Mini Cooper because they thought it was cute and it'd be a commuter, maybe that car runs. I'm talking an enthusiast commuter that bought it, an enthusiast owner that bought it because they love the way it drives. That one probably has been taken care of. And if you buy from an owner who has the records, then you know exactly the condition that it's in.
Mm-hmm.
So if you can find one of those two things, I would not caution you at all. I would say go get it. You've found a car that you all like that can meet your needs, that's within your budget. That is a victory across the board. It's going to come down entirely to who are you buying from. And in this case, I would highly recommend a private owner and not a dealer. So you know the person that has it, you know the kind of records they have. You can actually see the provenance of the car. And you'll know right away, when's the last time the clutch was changed? Have you ever worked on the water pump? Are there any leaks?
Mm-hmm.
And they can show you the records. And then you can at least go in eyes open. My question is, if you buy a Mini and it lasts you 3 years, isn't that enough?
That's a win.
Yeah. Don't buy this car expecting it to be real low miles and you have it for the next decade. Buy it expecting it to run 2 or 3 years.
It might.
It totally might. It totally might.
But if it doesn't,
it's going to be high mile. If it's taken care of well, you get 2-3 years out of it. At that point, here's the thing. All your girls are going to be big enough. You're going to be debating something else anyway.
That's a good point.
I think that Mini is going to have to work its way out of rotation in 2 or 3 years just based on the scale of your family. So I think for right now, buy the right one, and why not? Now, while I'm here, I will say alts. Fiesta ST is an alt, but your budget is going to be, I don't know, a $7,000 version of the Fiesta ST might be beat on.
It's
a little questionable. I don't know about that. Here's the thing.
It'll be an old autocross car.
Yeah, and I think the Mini is going to feel nicer to you at under $7,000 than the Fiesta ST will.
Okay.
That's one big thing there. 500 Abarth. You can't go wrong with the Fiat 500 Abarth.
No, that's really good.
That has a surprisingly usable back seat. These are every bit as cheap as the Minis. I think I'm a little more worried about the reliability of the Fiat than I am the Mini. And the Mini, I think, is a little bit more fun to drive. But these have so much personality, and they're out there, and they're inexpensive, and they are surprisingly fun to drive. It's the price point and the uniqueness that put this on the list for me. I think both the Fiesta and the Mini are more fun to drive, and I think the Mini is probably the right answer, Derek. But I can't ignore the 500 Abarth because it's down here and it's worth it.
That's interesting. Derek, Becca, I like your choices. I like your headspace. The fit fits.
It does.
You're not going to regret it. But Derek, I think you're going to be still craving. You will.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You will like it. You'll be okay with it, but your soul won't be satisfied. You still won't. Mm-hmm. Do I need that? So I do love the Mini. I think the Mini is the top choice. And you've heard Todd say how to shop, what to look for.
I think you could find a cool one. Really do.
But if I were to tell you, which are you more afraid of? The maintenance for a 2010 GTI, or any Golf, or the maintenance for a Mini?
Ooh.
Which one do we all fear more? Because you could just go get a GTI. Here's a 2010. Doesn't even have to be. Well, this is a GTI.
It should be a GTI for sure. If he wants,
those are pretty fun.
Yeah, but
good space in the back, decent hatch.
You've hit on something here because the question has another layer, Paul. You've hit on something very good. Which of us, listening, watching, which of us would be more nervous about a $7,000 2005 Mini Cooper with 150,000 miles or a $7,000 old GTI with 150,000 miles?
I'd be buying the Mini.
I'd be buying the Mini as well because the Minis aren't worth as much. The $7,000 GTI has not been well cared for.
It's just been commuted in. It's been driven, whereas I feel like the Mini... Same thing applies, but there's maybe more of an enthusiast.
I think,
I suppose.
The problem with the Minis is they haven't held their value. The GTIs have. You're getting more for your money with 150,000 mile, $7,000 GTI. I got to be honest, scares the heck out of me.
That's my thinking too. But
Interesting.
That's your other choice.
Okay. All right.
And there's one more actually that we've touched on the N version of it. But what about the Veloster Turbo?
Yeah.
It's not as hardcore.
It's a step down. Yeah.
It's one step back in power. It's still Korean. It's going to run.
Yeah, they're cool.
You could put high miles. To me, this is like the CRX of, I guess, the aughts. The old Honda CRX is kind of this.
I see that, yeah.
It's still quirky. Your girls are going to love the door only on the right side.
They have their own door.
Exactly right. But it's not the N.
Yeah, okay.
These are worth far less. But this is also just going to run, and this has the bones of where that N actually was built from. So this has that fun thing. And you and I, we drove this car and thought, oh man, it'd be great if you did this, this, and this, and this would really come alive. But this is still a lot of fun.
At the dawn of the show, we drove these base Velosters, and we were pleasantly surprised by them. Yeah,
Veloster Turbo.
Huh. Look at you.
Save some money.
Yeah,
it's an alt, but again, GTI or Mini, which scares you less?
I hadn't thought about it like that.
Minis.
That's fascinating. Minis for everyone, apparently.
Yeah, exactly. Derek, Becca, thank you for writing. Happy hunting. Wishing you all the best. Please let us know what you get and write a car conclusion to us.
Yeah.
everydaydrivertv@gmail.com. Since you're listening to us, you'll end up shopping for your next car very soon. And when you do, you need Autotempest.com.
Any car, anywhere, at any price, Autotempest searches all the major car listing sites on the web, local or nationwide. And Autotempest has recently added price history for every car listed, so you can see how prices are trending and know if you found a good deal. You can also create search alerts and lists of saved searches so you can find your perfect spec even easier next time.
Search on any device, in your browser or as an app for Apple iOS and Android. New, used, or unexpected, Autotempest is how we search for cars. Go to Autotempest.com/everyday so they know we sent you. Autotempest. All the cars. One search.
I see the connective tissue on the car debates here. You pick people having soul crises.
Yes.
Yes. Kate is writing in. Kate L is writing in. She needs the right car because she bought the car that made sense, and now she's soul sad. Kate, I'm laughing. Kate, I'm sorry that you're soul sad. I just think that term is fantastic. She describes herself as the regretful owner. That hurts right there. Regretful owner of a 2025 Honda CR-V Sport Touring Hybrid. Now, we've driven that car, and you have almost done a 180 on the CR-V because the last gen you hated with a white-hot passion. And the new one that counts this 2025 was a significant improvement to the point that on our last podcast, we talked about SUVs. You put it on your list as something to consider.
I'm about to eat a big plate of crow.
I don't think you were off base. I understand why you mentioned it. It's just that she bought it and it's not working for her.
Which is totally fine. And, I thought about my choices from the top 5 SUVs. And the CR-V, the new CR-V, is on the list. But consider this. I didn't say Audi. I didn't choose anything from Buick, Chrysler, Dodge, Ford,
you were
Lincoln,
shopping new too.
Hyundai, Kia, or Volkswagen.
Sure.
None of those car companies, in my opinion, built anything new.
Yeah, new was what you really did.
50,000 under,
for sure.
Fun. And here comes this new CR-V. And I might have been blinded just a little bit because I hated the 5th gen so much that anything better is sort of like, well, this is great. I might have been blinded a little bit by that, but I compared it actually to Todd's 2010 Cayenne. It's the same size.
It is.
We like the Cayenne a lot. It didn't do Cayenne things, but it was the same size and close to the same wheelbase. I could see it was going in that direction.
It's a significant
I think that's
improvement.
Probably why I chose it.
Sure.
Again, I could have been massively blinded because of the 5th gen sucks the hind one so much that like one notch up is like, wow, this is completely different. It's not as fun as, I mean, your choices were excellent and fun.
I went used.
But I was going new.
Yeah,
and you think of all the 10 other car companies that Audis and Volkswagens are not on our list. I don't think they're fun.
Yeah.
I think they're kind of boring,
And then they blow through the price point, too, pretty quickly when they start to try to be fun. Yeah.
None of those car companies build SUVs for under $50K that are fun. Many don't build over $50K that are fun.
That are fun either. Yeah, fair point. Yeah.
So still, to have Honda come back, and I was kind of tying it to like Mazda does. Mazda builds great little sports cars. And the SUVs are good, too. Honda's kind of the same way. Great sports cars. Civic's great. And they kind of started to push the CR-V in that direction. Now, I'm not saying that the CR-V takes all. It's better than the last one. And so much it deserves its spot on the list.
I see that. And Kate has a reason as to why she has this car and it's not quite right. She was driving a 2008 base Subaru Forester with 192,000 miles. It was costing her in repairs. She had a new job with a more than 1 hour commute twice a week, and finally it stranded her at work, which was the death blow, like must get out of this car. So she decided to make what she describes as a panic purchase. She'd been test driving for like, eventually I'll get something, but she'd been test driving a few things. She had test driven the CR-V hybrid, and as soon as that car actually stranded her, she's like, forget it, I'm getting it. I'm getting the CR-V hybrid. It's reliable, efficient, all-wheel drive for New England winters. It's going to be great. It's boring. And she says, I love comments like this. She says, the armrest is ridiculously high. It's killing her shoulder when she drives. Now, Kate happens to be 5'3". Her boyfriend is 6'3". I will admit, as a 6'3" person with a significantly shorter wife, you'd be amazed how the ergonomics of a car change when you have 3 or 4 inches worth of different height difference. I bet that armrest for your boyfriend is like, I don't see what the problem is.
Way down here.
I don't have an issue. It's hurting your shoulder, and he's going, it's fine. I don't get the deal. You want good gas mileage, touch of luxury, and most importantly, fun. The thing that you're talking about here is you paid a little over $40,000, about $43,000 out the door. You have 1,500 miles on it. So your budget is whatever you can get for the CRV plus about $5,000. So let's just assume here real quick, we're still shopping in around the same place, the low 40,000s, because you're going to take a bit of a hit on that CRV getting rid of it, but you still got $5,000 worth of wiggle room. So we're in the low 40,000 range. You've looked at BMW X1. You said sports seats are too uncomfortable. Volvo XC40, you said felt like it was a little small, but maybe you'd consider it. But the XC60, which we really like in some trims.
I was bummed to see that on her no list here.
What's interesting, though, is the XC60 can be really good in some trims and isn't very big, and your description of it is too big and heavy. So we're starting to see there's a limit to how big we can get an SUV for Kate. She wants a smaller thing. The Lexus NX 350 felt, your words here, air quotes, safe, but slightly boring. That should be the tagline for the Lexus NX. Safe, but slightly boring. It would
still sell, though.
My mother-in-law has one, and that's exactly what she needs, and it is perfect for her. You've avoided some European cars because you're worried about maintenance. Past loves include a 2003 Toyota Echo. I just don't remember the last time I heard that term. The Toyota Echo? Light, peppy, comfy, great mileage. Useless in the snow.
It was like a fawn standing on its new legs. It was wobbly legs.
A little bit wobbly, but cute. So you're trying to figure out how to get as much money as possible and get something that makes you smile. Did you unnecessarily limit yourself by insisting on all-wheel drive? And you're aware of the fact that it needs to be comfy for you at 5'3" and for your boyfriend at 6'3", and still handles the winter. You acknowledge no kids, no dogs, but they have inflatable kayaks and gear for beach and bike trips that they do occasionally. So there will be some outdoor activities. She's desperate for our help. What do we do for Kate?
Kate, I need to totally redeem myself here because I did recommend the CRV as fun, and here you went and bought one, and you found it, what was it, soul sad?
She's soul sad, Paul. She's soul sad. That actually sounds like a band. What is soul sad? What's their first single? What does soul sad play? Anyway,
they were a band in the 90s.
They were a grunge band.
Yeah.
Soul sad is a grunge band from the 90s. Yeah.
Derek and Becca were having their souls sucked out of them because of the cross tour. Kate, I'm going to do my best here, but I do think I've landed on something. I thought initially, Cayenne. Why don't you look at Cayennes? I was really bummed that the XC60, that black edition that we had, was fun.
It was surprisingly good, yes.
It was good, but she called it too big and heavy.
Understood.
And then I thought, okay, you know what you need is a Macan. Well, maybe not. You said you're afraid of the European cars, but maybe. But what about the X3, the M40i 2018?
Mm-hmm.
We loved that thing. Supra engine, gobs of power, great to drive. But if the XC60 is too big and heavy...
That is a concern, yeah.
This is probably going to be too big and heavy. And you know how we've been having this mini discussion as of this podcast? I have landed...
Oh, look at you.
...on the Countryman.
Yeah, I see it.
This is the all-4 version. This is 2019, I believe. 2019, 2020, and so I decided to go shopping. Kate, bad picture here. I found you one in New York...
Okay.
With 32,000 miles on it.
All right.
So pretty low miles.
Sure, yeah.
For 27,000, somewhere in there. She wants to get out of her CRV.
Yep.
How can she keep as much money as possible? You're going to take a slight hit, but still, it's only got 1,500 miles on it. It's still very new. So you can still charge almost close to what you paid. Hopefully you get max dollars out of that. Don't spend it all again. Spend just about 2/3 of that and go get something smaller, all-wheel drive. It will handle the inflatable kayak. It will handle the beach trips.
And there's all kinds of accessories available for these too.
Tons of accessories. I think the Mini Countryman is what you should consider, and there's a lot of them for sale. Autotempest.com.
Kate, this is excellent. I want to stop on this one real quickly, though. I do want to give you a couple of thoughts. First off, that is, of course, BMW running gear underneath.
It is,
which is good. I'm not saying that as a slight. I think it's good. I'm going to plead with you, though. Whether you could sell your car to CarMax, I don't care where you sell the CR-V, but I'm going to plead with you. You cannot get anything from the current Mini lineup. They have all gotten big and ugly.
Yes.
This one that Paul's showing here is a prior version of Countryman. They were fairly good looking and they looked kind of like a Mini for a while. Now, whatever has happened, whatever fell down a hole and hit their head thing happened to the BMW designers has now worked its way over to Mini. And I think every single one of their cars now looks blocky and uninteresting, and many of them downright ugly. The Countryman looks huge now.
It looks big. This is still a good compact size.
It is. Yes.
And on the inside, you're going to feel like, okay, there's 4 doors, there's 4 seats, and you've got the cargo space in the back, but it's got the compact feel that I think you're looking for.
That's good. It's really good.
I don't think it's a choice that you considered before, but I think now is the time to go shopping. First of all, drive one. Drive a few, actually. Don't drive just one and then make your judgment on all of the Countryman's drive like this.
That's a very good point.
Drive one with high miles. Drive one with lower miles. The one that I found, like I said, was 32,000 miles.
That's nothing.
For under 30 grand.
That's great.
And I want you to go used and find one of these. The style is better. They're smaller. But I also want you to feel like you've got to win. You've spent all this money. Sell. We don't know if you've paid cash or if you've financed. But if you've paid cash, you'll leave some money in your pocket. You'll feel like you walked away and that was an experiment. It didn't work, but you're walking away with still some money in your pocket and you still got something fairly new and fun. That's what I want for you.
It's very good. It's very good. I have a few for you, Kate. Let me see here. We think roughly 40 grand or so. I did start at the place that you debated, Paul, and that is you have to look at the Porsche Macan. It is the German European car to consider. You're going to be looking at slightly older ones. Don't get the 4-cylinder. At least get the 6. Don't get the very base 4-cylinders. But look into these. There's tons of them around. They were such a good seller for Porsche, and that means that there's a lot of them around, and you can get a surprising deal. You're wanting to spend around 40 grand. I think this is what you wish the CR-V was. I think that's the thing you don't realize is you want a hot hatchback style SUV that is truly fun, and that is the Macan.
Yeah.
But you are going to have Porsche tax and Porsche prices when you need parts. In fact, I'll tell a story along those lines while I'm here. We have had one of the wiper motors break on the Rubicon. Okay? The Rubicon, just so you know, that car before we did the stuff to it, okay, was worth $7,000 or $8,000. We did $4,000 or $5,000 worth of stuff to it, probably a little over 5, maybe 6 with tires. So, okay, we're talking about a $13,000, $14,000 car total. Okay, one of the wipers broke, the motor broke. So I took it in to my local mechanic, who's typically very good to me. They hadn't had the car very long. They called, which is you never want that. You never want you want the call to take most of the day. They'd had it about an hour. They called.
They're finding solutions.
Hi, let's talk about this wiper motor. And I said, sure, let's do that. And I'm expecting. Idiot me, that's going to be $1,000 job is what I'm expecting. I'm expecting $1,000. It's a Porsche to get the wiper motor fixed. I need to just fix the wiper motor. No. The part was $1,200. The part. They haven't even done anything to it. That's just for the part to show up. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to drive around a little bit with a wiper that does it because it's also on the passenger side, which is a win. It's a total win. And it's summertime here, so it's barely raining. I'll do it at some point. But I'm going to find a used part. You better believe I am, because the part from Porsche was $1,200 for the wiper motor, and they hadn't even touched it yet. It was going to be like a $2,000 job to get the wiper to work. And I was like, for the wiper on a car that might be worth $7,000 if it was in stock shape? No. So I promptly took the car. Now, my mechanic was like, that's what I would say too. So anyway, that's the problem. Worry about Porsche prices.
You could almost buy a wrecked Cayenne for $1,200.
Probably. Oh, I'm sure I could buy yes.
Take the wiper motors out.
I mean, that's the thing.
Leave the husk.
You're totally
What other
right.
parts do you want?
I should buy a husk of Cayenne and park it in the back of the property. That's terrible. My wife would love that.
Just leave it on the back of your property.
That's my parts Cayenne. I'm almost to that point.
Family backhoe.
That is terrible. I have none of these things, by the way, but we're laughing. This one is the one I think you really wish the CR-V drove like, and that is the RDX Acura. These are so overlooked.
Yeah, agreed.
Get one a few years old. You'll be surprised at what a great deal you can get. These were above your budget new, but used, a few years old. These are fantastic. They drive so well.
Yep.
And they drive better than your CR-V does. I think this is the CR-V in the actual athletic suit. It has the look, and it has the driving, and it probably is a little more luxurious than your CR-V. I think you'd be really shocked by how great an RDX would be for you, Kate. So look at one of those. Since you kept talking about what's too big, I'm a little bit off in the weeds here, but I had to bring this up. The Mazda CX-30 in turbo form.
That's great.
These are little and chuckable and fun.
It's a lifted Mazda 3 turbo.
It's a little. I mean, it is a Mazda hatchback
with
cladding. But look at the CX-30, because this is actually smaller than your CR-V.
Mm-hmm.
Driving engagement in these is better than they should be. Get the little turbo motor in it. It'll have a surprising amount of power. Now, you and your boyfriend will fit front seats only. You will not be taking friends anywhere.
But they don't have dogs.
You're going to put the back seats down and throw all your gear in the back because this is a small vehicle. Mm-hmm. But since you kept talking about what was too big, and some of the stuff that's too big is kind of surprisingly small, I think, CX-30 is a bit of a wild card for me, but I have to bring it up for you.
This is still small enough. I think this still is a winner.
I think this is plenty small enough.
This is good.
I think my concern here is it too small for her? Because she was worried about the XC40 being too small. I think it's borderline too small.
Well, you didn't go CX-3. This is still CX-30. It's just a touch bigger than the 3.
Yeah, I think this is an interesting consideration here. And then I cannot walk away without stopping on the Genesis GV70. Look at these. This is a little bigger than some of the other ones we've talked about, but I actually don't think it's any bigger than your CR-V. I think it might be about the same size. You have to get one of those overlay things and look at it.
Yeah.
But this is going to drive so differently than your CR-V. It's going to feel more luxurious because you're buying a car that was significantly more expensive, but you're buying a couple years old. I've talked about this car a couple times, talked about it last episode when we talked about good SUVs. This, if you get it with the turbo, I think you would prefer it, the big V6 turbo. You could get the lesser motor and definitely get in your budget. But I think you can find a used V6 turbo of this and be shocked by how well it drives, how luxurious it feels. I think it's going to do all the things that your CR-V doesn't and still give you all-wheel drive. While I stop here, I will just side note for you real quick, Kate, and talk about winter. Okay? You don't have to have all-wheel drive. You don't. It's helpful. It is not necessary. Tires are more important than drive wheels.
Yeah.
If you are really worried about weather, get winter tires for winter. If you're looking for versatility, go with an all-weather, not all-season, all-weather tire like the Vredestein Quatrack Pros that I have on my wife's Cayenne. Those have been phenomenal in all conditions. Get an all-weather tire. Tires matter much more. All-wheel drive is really only helpful, truly, from stop to 10 miles an hour. It's that initial rolling. And that's where everybody talks, well, we're going to get stuck. Drive better is part of it. Because, I mean, look, it's still possible to get stuck. It's all-wheel drive, front, rear, it's possible to get stuck. I've done it. We've all done it. All-wheel drive is like a just-in-case thing. But generally, it's tires.
Mm-hmm.
So I wouldn't shop just based on what's all-wheel drive, even though many of the ones I've mentioned do come in all-wheel drive. I don't think that should be the deciding factor. Get the right tires, Kate, and hopefully you'll find a fun car.
Agreed. Well, Kate, hopefully you feel equipped to enter the battle again. Hopefully you feel like you've got some ammunition to go find something that you really love. Take some time to drive a little bit of things. I mean, you're a buyer again, but you've got choices here. Let us know what you end up getting. Wishing you all the best. Write to us, everydaydrivertv@gmail.com. Topic Tuesdays, car conclusions, and car debates. On to our car conclusion number 1 from Aiden T. He says it's about a year late, but better late than never. Absolutely.
Love it.
We've got people writing to us car conclusions from early numbers, from the low numbers of the podcast episodes.
From episode 100, we're like, wait a minute, 900 ago? Are you kidding? That's fantastic. I love it. It's great.
Back in the day. Well, Aiden has also always been a car guy. Upon graduating college, he went to the Scion dealership wanting to buy an FRS. He couldn't afford it, though. So he settled for a Scion TC.
That is settling, by the way.
You remember those TC?
That is settling.
You're like,
yes.
That's
But this is classic car dealer thinking, though, is it not?
It is.
You came in for that. You can't get that. Get this. Yeah. Anyway.
Fast forward 18 months, he bought a manual FRS.
Love it.
It was amazing. Okay. Everything he wanted. He took it to the track. He did light modding, like wheels, exhaust. He said nothing crazy. He loved that car and the experiences that he and his wife had in it.
Okay.
After about 4.5 years, with the birth of their daughter around the corner, Aiden traded the car in for a more grown-up dad car.
Love it. Okay.
He ended up with a Volkswagen Mark 7.5 GTI.
Which is the one you want. It's right before the haptic disaster happens.
7.5 is the that's the sweet spot.
Manual transmission,
Yep.
no haptics.
Yep.
Good call. Really like it. Yes.
What it lacked, however, was a bit of fun. So after a few years, when the new GR86 came out, he put down a deposit and got on the wait list. He only wanted the premium, the manual transmission in that Neptune blue.
So essentially the car we got.
The car we got.
He wanted that. Yes.
Yep.
Got it.
But he wasn't willing to pay markup during the COVID era.
Yikes. So you didn't get one.
So he
that's what happened. That didn't happen.
Pulled the deposit back. Now, fast forward even more to 2024, and lo and behold, his local dealership got a lightly used GR86 with the exact options that he wanted.
I love it.
So he got to test drive it. It's fun. It's everything. But he looks back and realizes even his small girls won't fit very well back there.
Yes, that's true.
Even if his wife was in the front. So he walks away thinking, not knowing what he should do, or should he just keep the GTI? But then... But then
story takes a really good turn. That's in line. You've done a phenomenal job of aligning all of these things.
Sometimes it works out. Sometimes
it's really good. It's all still in hatchbacks, everybody. Here we go.
He found an almost brand new Veloster N in manual transmission. He test drove it. He fell in love. Perfect. It was exactly what he wanted.
Yep.
More raw feeling, exhaust with personality, and just enough room to bring the whole family.
The girls have their own door.
So much Veloster love.
So good.
This
I like
episode.
it. It's very good.
Aiden called his wife and asked her if she wanted to keep his GTI and trade in her boring Tiguan.
Yes,
should be your answer.
Paul's going to do a happy dance. By the way,
do you want to trade in your boring Volkswagen? Yes.
Yep.
Is your answer.
So they have 2 hot hatches in the family, and they are incredibly happy about it. That's really fantastic. I love this. And it was a comment that you made, Paul, that actually really influenced him. He calls it wise words indeed. I'm calling you out here, really. He says this conclusion was because on the podcast a few months ago, after the Veloster N, you said, Paul, that sometimes you have to reassess what is fun for you at that time in your life. And Aiden is realizing that after the fact, looking back, that's inadvertently what he'd done. He had the FRS. He made a move to the GTI. He made a move to the Veloster. His wife got rid of her Tiguan. They have inadvertently made the right decisions for the fun they need that meets their life, which is exactly the reason we do this podcast and this car show. It's just we want you to have a car that you love, that does everything you need it to do, and is still also fun. We don't want you to be these soul-sucking cars we've talked about this episode. We don't want that for you at all.
Car conclusions,
yes.
Debates. Sometimes we figure it out, and
we get it right occasionally. Yep.
We hit on something that resonates, and Aiden, I'm so glad that it resonated with you. We have to redefine fun. What is fun? What does fun mean? Don't look up fun in the dictionary. What does fun mean to you? What does fun mean now? Because fun later might be different than fun now.
Well, it's the people that write to us and go, we're going to have kids within the next 5 years. What car do we get now? And I'm like, well, the one that doesn't have to worry about kids. That's the one. The one that doesn't, the ones where kids don't matter. That's the one you get now.
The fun one.
Yes, because when you have kids, worry about the car for the kids when you have the kid. Anyway, sorry. Side rant that I am all about.
It's so funny. Never gets old. Moving on to car conclusion number 2 from Isaac R., who says, do not ignore the wild card suggestions.
Okay.
Isaac was originally featured with his wife on episode 282.
A while back. Got it.
8-ish years ago.
Yep.
He says, happy wife. Oh, look, a Miata. You remember Isaac and his wife, they were wedding photographers. You remember that episode with large dogs and kids on the horizon, like we were just talking about?
Dogs and kids. Here we go.
They ended up leasing a 2018 Outback shortly before the episode aired, and that Outback served its needs, but it was just not what they wanted.
Like it. That makes sense. Got it.
Much fast forwarding. Lots of fast forwarding to this entire episode. Yep. Everybody's fast forwarding. Mm-hmm. He purchased a manual 2006 Cayman S, near the end of 2020, and returned the Outback in March of 2021. They closed their photography business in 2019.
Okay.
Isaac dailied that Cayman 12,000 miles a year until September of 2023. It threw a check engine light, fouled plug due to bore scoring.
Ooh.
It's not good.
Not good.
Their son was born in May of that year. And while they had planned on getting a minivan, once the Cayman was paid off, they accelerated the plan.
They were looking at minivans not just because of Child on the Way, but also because they have a 112-pound Akita. That is a large dog. So that and the child that they want to take to parks with plenty of space for dogs.
Years before your kid matches the weight of the dog.
Seriously, the dog outweighs the child for some serious time there. But anyway, sliding doors help with baby stuff. So he traded in his Cayman on a 2018 Odyssey. His wife was astonished that he would even consider it. But he was thinking, all right, this is the right thing at the right time. He said it was cliche, Dad, to take a sports car and trade it in for a minivan once the baby arrived, but it was good that they did it. They found it was perfect in their thinking, but then they also found over time that it was more car than they needed. I did that. I am the mayor of this, okay? My wife and I got a big old 7-seater when we had our one child, and we realized about 2 years in, we have one child.
We should get an FRS.
We're not having any more kids.
You know.
And my wife doesn't like this car. In fact, you may have heard this story already. My wife actually came to me after we'd moved to Utah. We'd had the Acadia a few years, and she said to me, deadpan, I walked right into this. She said, you know that show you do about finding people cars they love? And I said, yeah. She said, I hate my car. I was like, well, now I'm stuck. Talk about painting yourself into a corner.
I thought you were going to tell the Acadia salesperson who told your wife that it drove like a car.
Oh, yeah, that was the worst thing. And
Todd's back there like,
don't do that.
Shut up.
Don't do that. No, don't tell the truck girl it drives like a car. That was all bad. No, that's a separate issue. No, because we actually bought that Acadia, so that guy succeeded. The problem was the fact that my wife blindsided me with the fact she hated her car, and I did a whole career about finding people good cars. So we've solved that. Anyway, The point is, that's what you did. You bought the minivan, and it seemed like the right thing, and now you've realized it's just more car than you need, and neither of you really wanted to drive it. And then this past winter, you started getting a brake light. The light actually lights up on the dash. It says brake on your wife's long-running and beloved Infiniti G37 XS. She was the original owner. She's had it her entire photography journey. It's a car she wanted to have forever. So you have the minivan you don't like driving, and the car she likes driving is now starting to give you some weird errors. I mean, it's more than 10 years old, so I get it. You had the light diagnosed. It was just low brake fluid, but it just became one of those things where, and then you discovered, in this case, you discovered the power steering rack needed to be replaced, and that was going to be probably about $5,000 all said and done on a car that's not worth much.
And a front subframe support brace rusting through.
Yeah.
$5,000 worth of work with maintenance, steering rack, the brake. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, on a car that's probably not worth a whole lot anyway. So
say goodbye to the Infiniti.
She agreed to consider replacing her car, and that was very difficult because she thought it had plenty of power, handled great, all-wheel drive, etc. Loves the sport model seats, and they're an anti-SUV family, which is why they bought a minivan after a sports car. I love that. But they want a car that handles well, so they started looking at new things. They wanted decent power, all-wheel drive seats, minus BMW and Mercedes, which they've never actually liked those cars, and his wife doesn't like the seats. So they were looking at Alfa Giulia, the Audi A3 or S3, the Audi A5 or S5, the Genesis G70, glad that's on the list, the Lexus IS350 F Sport, and a wild card of one of your hatchbacks, Paul, the Porsche Macan.
Love it. We've talked a lot about the Macans, too. Apparently, Isaac's wife was surprised that she liked that IS350 F Sport because it felt so much like her G37.
Interesting. All right.
But then the Audi dealer had a 2020 Macan S on their lot, so they just took it for a drive.
Hey, while they're here, we may as well drive it. Yep.
She was shocked again. She thought the power was lacking. But despite it being an SUV, she liked the seats enough. She wanted to drive another one to confirm the lack of power that was apparently a check engine light on the one they initially test drove.
So that was not a good one, yes.
Yeah, so they found another 2021 Macan S and a GTS at another local dealer because they have 5 Porsche dealers within an hour's drive of them. Who has
They're like
Porsche
Starbucks
dealers?
At this point. Like if you live in a big city, there are multiple very nice Porsche dealers.
Amazing.
But some of which have Starbucks inside them too. It's a separate thing.
This is why I only recommended the GTS. She said they really liked the S that they had, but was over the moon with GTS. See?
Okay.
I knew
They also said it's unfair to compare them back to back. Porsche's counting on that, by the way. If they have an S and a GTS on the lot, or they have a base and an S on the lot, they're going to put you in both of them, and guess which one you're going to pick.
We just charge you more.
Yes.
But she did like a CPO 2021 Macan S with nearly all the options they wanted in sapphire blue. Wow. So they test drove it, and after negotiating, they brought it home.
Love it.
One owner, 76,000 miles, and the prior owner had everything done, plus the rear brake job within the past year.
Bravo. That's great.
New tires, new PDK service. Yeah, a lot of money, a lot of maintenance into it. That's what you want to do.
Yes.
They're extremely happy with it. It doesn't drive like any SUV. That's why we kept calling it a hatch.
Because it's a hatchback. SUV. Yes, exactly. Yes.
She loves the extra space, the handling, the 14-way power seats. The air-cooled seats are not to be ignored. They use them so much.
That's cool.
So gone is the Odyssey. They realized they didn't need an SUV and a minivan.
You would think that after they got rid of the minivan and they have the Macan, that what do we do about the Infiniti? Well, that's where it's a twist, because the Infiniti stayed. He found the discontinued steering rack for the G37. He got it done a little cheaper than they expected. So he is driving the G37 Infiniti as his daily. And if they have to swap cars, she likes the Infiniti. He likes the Macan. It's win, 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 win.
Except for that rusty front subframe issue.
What's happened with that? I don't know. There you go. The reality is the Macan is a hatchback. This is what we've learned on this podcast. And apparently a G37 Infiniti is a forever car. These are things I didn't know coming into this podcast, but now I am convinced.
Thank you for the car conclusions. Really appreciate it. Glad you found something that you love, and it might take a while. Kate, it might take a while to get there, and you've started down that road, but you know what you don't like.
That's true.
You've got options, and look at the cool stories. Look at the cool stories people have found.
It's great stuff.
For our last segment, moving on to audience questions. Looks like we've got a few here that are pretty good. I was talking about cooled seats. I think it's on Facebook.
Yeah, Mike wrote in and said, what are manufacturers that make genuinely good ventilated or cooled seats? He posed this question elsewhere and got a long list of manufacturers that make bad ones. Who actually makes good ones that will freeze us back in the middle of summer? Mike, I want to clarify terms here real quick. Every manufacturer that makes this feature is going to refer to it as a cooled seat, and that is not right. There are cooled seats and there are ventilated seats.
Yes.
And a cooled seat is essentially, it has an extra air conditioner. You turn it on and it blows cool air through the holes of the seat. This is not common. What's more common is ventilated seats. And in many cases, what those are actually doing is they are actually pulling air from your back into the seat because you're sweating against the seat. And so it is ventilating you by pulling air in. But it's actually not blowing cool air out. They can feel cooler.
Yes.
But what you're looking for is essentially an AC in your seat.
Air conditioner in your back. Yeah.
It exists. But the thing you have to know is the companies that do it and the cars that do it well are almost always large, expensive SUVs or minivans. Because at that point, the weight and the complexity of having an extra air conditioner in your seats is irrelevant to how the car drives.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like Bentley has them, but you don't have the Bentley. But you know what? Suburbans have them. Expeditions have them. Many of the high-end minivans have the actual, I'm talking about air-conditioned cooling seats, are those cars you want to drive because most of the time, Porsche is a great example, the cars that drive well, that have ventilated cooled seats, quote unquote, are actually ventilated seats. That's the difference.
Daniel N. says rumors are stirring of an Infiniti sedan coming with rear-wheel drive, manual, and a twin-turbo V6, likely the engine from the Nismo Z. When Daniel heard this, he got super excited. However, poking around on the website, he said they've got a concept car under future plans that resemble this. Mm-hmm. He says this concept utilizes brake-by-wire.
Ooh.
As that starts to take hold of the automotive industry little by little, Daniel would wager this new car could also have it. But is he just becoming old? And back in my day, we had hydraulic brakes. We don't need anything else.
We did, and they were good, yeah. Mm-hmm.
He is skeptical and nervous of brake-by-wire. Should he be? Or is brake-by-wire a perfectly reasonable and innovative system that will elevate the driving experience and performance potentials of performance cars? Would a car with brake-by-wire be a deal breaker to you when purchasing a car that ticks every other box? Well, Daniel, that depends. If you're shopping Maserati MC20s, no is the answer. I mean, no.
I had that on my answer for this as well. Keep going. Yes, for sure.
I would say no because of the feel. And it's not just I like it or I don't. It's how you're able to extract performance and therefore your confidence as a driver out of the car. If you don't feel like you're getting the pressure and you can't feel what's going on with the wheels and tires and the attitude of the car, that's a big problem. And I don't think that the MC20 has rectified that. We actually just redrove the Alpha 4C in an upcoming piece, and I hated the brakes. I feel like that's where the MC20, God, they went, that sucks. We should use that.
Wow.
Look, the 4C brake pedal really sucks.
You're telegraphing some things there. That's very funny. Well, but actually, while you talk about Alpha, though, the other one that I had on my list besides the Maserati MC20 was the Alpha Giulia that has brake-by-wire.
Yes.
And in both cases, I think this really comes down, honestly, Dan, this comes down to calibration by the company, because I want to give you a counterpoint, and you may have a counterpoint too, Paul. The Alpha Giulia and the Maserati MC20, I think both of those brakes are fine if you're track driving it, where it's like, I'm going to use all of the brakes right now, and then I'm going to come off of it. In those kind of situations, the brakes felt like you expected. Took a lot of effort, but they feel like you expected. Where you struggled with it is that kind of glide through traffic, stop and go usability was very hard to modulate. Now, you can own it and you can get used to it. I'm not saying that's not possible, okay? I've driven the Alfa Giulia enough that I would have gotten used to it. I probably would still buy one if I were in the market. But the Giulia never feels quite natural, brake-by-wire. Conversely, you know what else has it and we both love? The C8 is brake-by-wire.
Well, I suppose, yeah.
Okay, love's too strong. Neither of us... Neither of us have a problem with the braking in that car.
Yeah.
We've used it in every situation I can think of, and it's never been a problem. The Giulia and the MC20, I'm constantly going, oh, that's right, brake-by-wire. Oh, that's right, brake-by-wire. The C8, I never think of it.
It comes down to the calibration for sure, but do we want that? I mean, what the car manufacturer is telling all of us is that, hey, look, we figured out how to make our car more cheaply. I still come back to, like you are, Daniel, if it ain't broke... You know, and it's not the get off my lawn kind of thing, but it's the tried and true. Just like internal combustion engines are tried and true, there's still more to extract, not just power, Corvette ZR1X, but actually efficiency and emissions reductions. So there's still more to be found, and I think there's still more to be found in brake systems. But notice every car manufacturer isn't just jumping on board.
Fair. I mean,
all the cars are not with brake-by-wire and that,
but they're not always. Yeah,
that's fine and all, but it's got to be done in the right situation. I mean, maybe performance cars, but I'm not sure that on all the cars we need it. I think it's best left alone for aircraft. Let's just leave it in the planes.
There's a secondary thing going on here that we've seen in electronic power steering and now brake-by-wire and that kind of stuff. When you interrupt the signal with electronics, then you can have the electronics give the signal in the first place for emergency braking, for lane keep assist. That's the other thing going on here, is that these are being interrupted so that the computer can sense what's going on and do it for you, that's where I get into get off my lawn, but that's a whole separate thing.
Kyle B. also asks us, what's our least favorite car trend over the last 20 years? Things like squatted trucks, underglow, wide body, everything, tacky bolt-on fender flares. It's tuning for the wrong reasons. It comes back to tuning out of class, but tuning just for the point of tuning.
Okay.
And the more we do the show, we were all about stock OEM cars from the get-go.
Yep.
It's tuned and drives like that for a very good reason.
A little bit of R&D was done, yeah.
R&D also to a price point.
Sure, of course.
Porsche has extracted all the blood from the turnip.
Still working on it. Yep.
Squeeze all for that. The Carrera S, the Carrera GTS, the 4 GTS, tuning for the sake of tuning, and everything you've mentioned falls into that category. It's just, I want to do something because I want to spend money on my car, but I don't know what. And so we always come back to driver upgrade, tires, brakes. Forget about power. Power is 14th on the list.
Yeah, I agree. Kyle, I've got a couple others here, and you've actually brought up a lot of really good ones, like underglow, squatted trucks. What are we talking about?
I mean, that's car culture at that point.
Yeah, but he's talking about trends, though. He's talking about just trends that happen in automotive. Wide body, everything. I'm going to stop there because it relates to the one that bugs me, and that is when I had my first 300ZX, there was a company, I forget, that had come up with a wide body kit for the 300ZX that was like 3 or 4 inches wider, and it made the whole shape a little bit more hourglass, and I loved it. It was quite expensive, but I remember Z1 Motorsports was selling it at the time. They probably still do. And the cars I ever saw it on looked amazing. Now, you had to get wider wheels to have them, go flush with the fenders. Yeah. But it was very smooth, and that relates to the one that I find tackiest. And it is the look of those bolt-on fenders, even if they didn't get attached that way. And it starts with the RWB Porsches, and I know now somebody is typing angrily, but it's that look. It's the look that suggests that we bolted this fender on, and I've never seen it look anything but tacky and cheap. From you did it to your Corolla,
that's because it is.
You did it to your RWB. That bolted on fender look looks so cheap and tacked on, and compared to the wide body kits, and again, this one for the 300ZX was this way, where the body panels were new and different, and they were still smooth, but the car was wider. I thought that look was amazing when it was done right. It wasn't always done right. A lot of times, what happened is people did it with like Bondo, and then they left it and didn't paint it, and then it was like, what are you doing? But
I'll polish it with 100 grand.
Something, yeah. But the bolt-on fender look, you can get a body kit for any car you can imagine right now that has that bolt-on fender look, and the only universal thing about them is they all look bad. I'm telling you, I hate them. Anyway, other than that, it's great. I'm a big fan.
Other than that.
Yeah.
Thank you for all your questions. Thank you for the onslaught of all the car debates that are coming in. We really appreciate it. We apologize if we can't get to yours, but hopefully you're extracting something from the stories that you're hearing that listeners are writing to us. Thank you for watching. Please rate and review the podcast.
Definitely.
Really appreciate you watching on video now. And we are also video on Spotify too. So if you'd like to consume it on Spotify audio, Spotify video, and now YouTube as well. So really appreciate it. We're still enjoying the weekly format and the longer format. We're hearing a lot of things from you guys about the longer format is good. So please let us know what you think, and looking forward to next time as always. Cheers, everyone.